Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Fireside Chat. And today we stoked to be joined by Melbin, who is the co-founder at Burnie. Burnie is one of the first projects actually building on the NodeOps Network infrastructure. So today's session will aim to unpick and address what Burnie is, where along the journey the team is, right? How you're currently leveraging the NodeOps Network infrastructure and future plans, let's just say, and much more. So first things first, Melvin, thanks for joining us today. I think it's always easier to start when folks see a new face, right? To delve, to provide some context with your background, and yeah, it would also be amazing to use that as an assist to better understand how Burnie sort of came to be.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my background, I've been in Web3 for about 7 years now, professionally. Started in actually prior to DeFi summer, was working with the DeFi protocol at that time. I co-founded a social finance platform in 2021. We had raised from FTX and the lots, exited in 2023. And I started working on the intersection of crypto AI because AI was had just come out, ChatGPT had just come out, and there was like a massive potential. But was tinkering on figuring out how to basically use AI to and crypto, basically use crypto to basically make AI better. There are some incentives that are broken in AI. And there's more centralization that will end up happening if Apple today is a behemoth and a monopoly in the market. AI model owners are going to be even bigger monopolies. And that's where I personally and I passionately believe in decentralization. So, and that's the main reason why I was like, what is the intersection of crypto and AI, and how can we basically make that
Right.
work? Bunch of solutions I've built over the last 2 years. Burnie is where we basically kind of honed in on. I've been having a lot of learnings on in terms of how crypto and AI can basically work. And the three main things that we came down to was crypto is really, really good at crowdsourcing things, crowdsourcing resources and actually making something out of it, in such as the sum of the parts is way bigger than the value of each individual part. And that's the core, I would say, selling point for blockchains and crypto. And that's where I believe decentralization can actually beat centralized actors. So started with data collection for coding, and we created and we're still going on, which is basically an extension for Web3 developers. Where you get paid in tokens for using it. Why? Because we are collecting a lot of data to basically be used to fine tune models. Your data can be sold. And that's kind of how we started off. And once we started off, we realized, okay, we need to quickly get people on board onto this, developers on board onto this, and that's why the character of Burnie came into play. He's a code review AI agent who roasts your GitHub repository, and he nudges you to basically improve your code. And when you basically do it, he rewards you in tokens. And that was the core thesis. But yeah, we've been evolving that over a period of time, and right now we've come across this whole thing where we're seeing this whole InfoFi space where uh, people are trying to quantify the attention that they're basically getting, that they're able to generate on crypto Twitter and all those places, and there's analytics platforms around it with Kaito and CookieDAO and all those places. So we realized, again, coming back to my earlier point about crowdsourcing, Burnie is basically a mindshare mining protocol where we are crowdsourcing the creation AI generated content creation using NodeOps. Basically, as a content creator, you can basically set up a node. All you need to do is a couple of clicks and you set up a node that automatically creates content. On the demand side, we'll be onboarding projects who need marketing. And when they basically set up a campaign, automatically your AI agent, whom you configured on in your node, will automatically create the content and basically make submissions. Right, the good content will bring up to the top, and we select that. Burnie will uh, sh- post it. He will shout it out. And eventually you get paid as a percentage of whatever mind share that you were able to bring in. So this way we democratize the whole market instead of a few KOLs having the maximum amount of mind share and basically pulling all the market towards them. We'll be able to hit more, what do you say, specific niches. And that's what early projects also want a lot of times. We just don't want to do broad marketing. A lot of times, it's all based on performance. And that's kind of how we're basically envisioned. But sorry, that was a bit long, but
Yeah, there was a lot to unpick there, and sounds exciting. So let's start from a problem statement. So, what did you realize? What did you recognize from platforms such as Kaido that were, I wouldn't say they were doing it wrong. I understand you just mentioned a point that it was sort of in the hands of few, right? Catalyzed with a few KOLs that are sort of reaping the rewards as a result of their influence, right? And you
Mhm.
mentioned mind share is the currency. So, considering where you are with Burnie, which are you are at the nascent slash ember stage, and you're setting things up, right? And so you have you're at the stage where you can visualize, right, how things will actually look like. How will it be different from, say, a Kaito, right? In terms of the mindshare being more, you say, democratized, right? So that it's more evenly distributed among participants.
Right. How we are actually looking at this mindshare is that instead of doing broad campaigns, what we are actually looking to is in onboard specific groups and niches onto our platform who will be yapping about it. So one difference in Kaito and Cookie and everything is that they do not differentiate the content creator and the yapper. The content creator and yapper are sorry, they're considered the same person over there. So whatever mindshare you're able to get. How you do it is not something that they care about, right? So what we realized is that there are a bunch of people who are creative, who are really good at creating content, but they have no interest in basically going out there yapping and actually getting stuff done.
Right.
And there are yappers who are really into the space, and they're like, "Hey, we know what crypto Twitter is talking about. We can be relevant. We can actually do things, but we don't have the creative skill set." So we just separated both of them and said, okay, the content creators, they are they're the talent, basically giving the stuff, right? And they can basically use AI to generate it as well, right? And yappers are the amplifiers, right? So that's the kind of
Right.
differentiation that we're doing over here. And how we're basically do how what we're basically focusing is on make sure content creators are incentivized to create AI generated content as well as possible. And yappers have a lot of content to choose from, which they can actually use to amplify. They're already incentive. Their yappers have a big incentive to basically get recognition, get followers, and of course, get paid. Everyone wants to get paid. But how do you go from being a small yapper with 500 followers to 10,000? A
Right.
cookie Kaito makes sense for people who are about 10,000. But on that journey, how are you going up? Right. So that's the niche that we are basically targeting. Once you're more than 10,000, go to Cookie and basically sell your service over there. Say that,
So
hey, I'm a top miner over here, top yapper over here.
no, no, no. It kind of makes sense. You want to tackle that earlier phase, right?
Yeah, yeah,
On your way up. Okay, I
exactly.
guess I get what you're saying. So, and you're talking about niches, and the narratives are um, there's new narratives currently always spawning, right, in the space. So the pace is relentless. So who would be entrust? It would be the content creators, right? Who would sort of be monitoring the narratives and creating content around it, and then the yappers would spot the relevant narratives that they think could have potential, and they start broadcasting it. Would that be
Right.
the process, more or less?
So I would say yappers would be monitoring. The content
Okay.
creators would be automatically creating. So they'll set up AI agents.
Mm-hmm.
So how it will work is we'll have an image on NodeOps, Docker image on NodeOps, and they'll just basically deploy it. And there'll be a platform, basically an interface where they say configure your AI agent. What is the kind of creative that you want to make? Which kind of models do you want to use? All those kind of things you can set up, right? When, let's say, a project, let's say, abstract chain basically comes and creates a campaign. Says that, hey, we are giving out weekly rewards for XYZ thing. These are the activities that you need to do. And that's how you claim the reward. They create the campaign, right? Now, what happens is that campaign is taken as a prompt into the same whatever deployment that you've done of your image with your AI agent. So your AI agent takes that prompt, and based on whatever instructions that you have given, it'll automatically generate the content. It can be an image of abstract. It can be, or let's say Pudgy is talking to something or something like that, and then it'll basically say, okay, rewards are there, and that piece of content is created. Now, this is material that a yapper can come and see. Hey, I can use this to promote my content. Burnie, our protocol, basically our influencer will also do the same thing. He will actually look through all the submissions, the best ones. Let me just post it on behalf of this user. And here, thank you for your content. I'm giving you a shout out and paying you money as well. Right. So the content creation process, we have completely put it into an automated AI generated thing where people can create their AI agents to do it. Rest, rest is again, it's in the amplification phase.
Okay, I get it. So you're abstracting away, in a way, the creativity of it, right? Like you're
Exactly.
sort of outsourcing it to, well, it's kind of scary, but it is with the direction where we're heading towards AI,
Honestly,
right? But
honestly, right now we have content creators who are
I
actually
know.
generating really, really good stuff with AI. They are prompting VO and creating good stuff. So the
Okay.
skill set went from actually doing the creative stuff in itself into actually figuring out what the right prompt is. That
Right,
is
I understand.
that's
It's
the
true.
actually IP, I would say.
It's
So
true.
IP has just changed format. It hasn't changed the fact that there's still IP there. It's just a different kind of an IP, I would say.
Okay, I understand completely. And so you'd be reliant, Bernie's growth would be reliant on having the abstracts of the world, the pudges of the world coming to you and saying, hey, but they wouldn't necessarily have to come to you specifically, right? You could spot that there is a live, or Bernie could spot that there is a live ongoing campaign that abstract has just launched and just
Yeah.
capitalize that one, right? They wouldn't
We can
necessarily
capitalize it.
just,
If they're already giving out rewards, we basically capitalize on it, create a campaign and put it out there. But if
wow.
you're a project, you want to do a promotion yourself, you can actually create a campaign over there as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you mentioned here and there, of course, that people would be able to spin up their own sort of AI agent, right? Leveraging the NodeOps Network infrastructure.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, like, why NodeOps Network, and why is NodeOps the right solution to for folks to set up their own node validator?
Honestly, I did not even know about NodeOps till I reached permissionless hackathon.
Right.
And during the hackathon, I was doing research on you guys, honestly. Right. So the good thing is that what I realized is that we wanted people to set up their nodes, but I was like, bro, this is so technical. Creators won't do this. Right?
It's
And
true.
that's when I spoke to you and Juliana, and they were like, bro, you just need to click one button and you deploy in
Exactly.
Docker image. And I was like, oh, that's it. So that makes it
That's
easy,
it.
right? Right. And that the simplicity, I would say, I just if you boil it down, it's just the simplicity of anyone who to run a node. I'll be honest with you. The people who made money in blockchain really consistently over the last 12, 15 years have been people who have ran nodes. There is no there's no downside in running a node other than actually the cost of actually running the server. And you can actually shut it down anytime if you think the node is not working, but you can actually
Right.
use the same infrastructure for something else as well. And so one of the things that again, crowdsourcing is the main cornerstone of blockchains, right? And crowdsourcing compute, crowdsourcing infrastructure, that's pretty much what the thesis is over here. And that's where I believe people can contribute and earn money. The fact is, people actually try to figure out how can I trade and make money? How can I punt a token, make money, and all those things? Those all have risks. The least riskiest option is to run infrastructure and contribute to the economy. And the economy will reward you for whatever contribution you're doing, and how that can be bundled together and sold. And Ethereum selling block space is the biggest example, right?
Right.
And running node is honestly the best way to take part in the economy with low stakes and get rewarded. And people are trying to build as many decentralized protocols as you can imagine, and everything, if it is decentralized, needs to have distributed nodes. That's the thesis.
I mean, it's true. Look, infrastructure is everything, right? Like without the right, like it's infrastructure in all spheres now of life, right? Like you want to get somewhere, if there's no roads, you can't get from A to B, right?
Exactly.
If you want to
Right.
fly somewhere, there's no airports, there's no planes. You know what I mean? It's something that you take for granted, and I think it's I wouldn't say it's the same in Web3, but people sometimes take it for granted how much things have improved, right, compared to 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago. We've
Yeah.
we've we've truly made a lot of strides forward. And I mean, the latest example, right, is with us. You're now able to farm compute. Explore products and check on your deployments and top up your credits just simply from your Telegram app. Like that
Yeah.
would have been unthinkable when I joined like 5 years ago. And it was funny. Like we were in earlier spaces where with Sagar, my colleague, and he said like at the beginning the challenge was to I think they said, I don't remember the specific time, right, when they started NodeOps, of how much it would take to deploy a node, right, and they were able to take it down to like 2 minutes with the console, right, to sort of streamline the whole process as much as possible. And now with the Telegram bot is like below 60 seconds, right? And like we have a current campaign that is currently live, and people are able to spit up their node in deploy a node in less than 30 seconds. And there's new features coming. So things are moving
So
at a
cool.
crazy direction. Yeah. It's
That's
nuts.
so cool. That's so
Yeah,
cool because
things.
when you solve the distribution problem as well, in terms of it's on Telegram, you don't even need a laptop to do it. That's insane.
It's nuts because it's
So,
all native. It's all native, right? You just top up your
right,
credits.
right.
They support everything. We support everything: fiat, stables.
Hmm.
You mention it, Node as well, and then yeah, you just access the different features. So is this the kind of like this element of ease, right, of how intuitive the whole process is? What made you sort of go to in this direction, right, and say, hey, like I want everyone to be able to spin up their own AI agent. Everyone knows AI, so it's kind of like a pretty smart
Yep,
bet, right? It only
yep,
makes
yep.
sense, right?
Right. And I'm giving ownership, everything. I mean, every thesis that we're talking about, if it can just happen from your Telegram, it solves all the problems, honestly. And that's the thing. Everyone is like onboard users to crypto. I'm like, why would someone onboard to crypto? If they can earn in crypto, they will do it. Make it easy for them to earn in crypto. Instead of making awesome UI for onboarding users to play games, I would say just put stuff that would make an awesome UI so that people can run nodes. And I'm like, okay.
Exactly.
Right.
Couldn't agree
They
more.
learn. Like, no one likes doing jobs. Like, it's not like people enjoy going to work early in the morning, but they know at the end of the month or at the end of the week they get paid. Right.
Exactly.
So that's how they participate in the economy, because with that money, you can actually buy anything you want. Right. So yeah, crypto is always this thing is like it's an economy. In an economy, you need people, you need to give them opportunity to earn. And if you're solving that problem, people will figure out how to create apps, UI, everything.
Look, I couldn't agree more. And you were also on a panel that I think it was on the second day of permissionless. It
Oh
was
yeah, yeah.
great. It was
Indeed.
great to see you. And yeah, when you came, when you were running, right? You were, but something
It
like
was so difficult to get an Uber.
New York is crazy from that perspective. Like a common sort of thread, a common talking point, a common denominator across all the talks, because AI, of course, was the main talking point. Was the element of utility, right? There will be ever more agents. You via our infrastructure are gonna enable folks to spin up their own AI agents. So there will be a gazillion, like n number of AI agents
Yes.
going forward, but it will all boil down to utility, right? Like that's literally all it matters, because that's it, right? So from your perspective, right, with Burnie and you mentioned economy. I like the fact that you keep banging on about that, because it's true. The economy that you're trying to create, or that you're trying to access and sort of leverage to your own advantage, right? What is the key utility that you're after? It is mindshare, right? Or no? That you're
Yep.
trying to crack?
It is mindshare. Yeah. It's basically getting a significant. Can we basically get a decent percentage of overall mind share. Think about like I would say network, a media network, right? The like compared to NBC and let's say two major networks like NBC versus Fox. Like they're always looking when they go on air how many people are tuning into them, right? And that's pretty much what it is in social media right now. How many people's attention can you get, and what is a decent chunk that you can actually get? And that's kind of we are heading where we are heading with Burnie as well. It's like yes, mindshare mining, all those things are on the monetization side of things. But what we are essentially doing other than that is creating Burnie as a as a content creator himself. So we have like the Bernie show that we are coming out with soon. There's some alpha. Is that we're coming out with think about like South Park, but Bernie's roasting everyone on the internet.
Hell yeah.
We'll have like 5, 6 characters, all AI characters who will basically and auto-generated shows. So one thing that AI has done, especially in the video generation space, is that the cost of producing an episode has come down to like less than $100. So compared to if you were supposed to do an animation, like let's say 5 years back, it would have cost you a minimum of $10,000
Right.
just to get things going, and like a low cost production is what I'm talking about, right? And that delta means that there's a flood of content that's going to come out. So very
Hmm.
soon, you'll be seeing like shows, animations, uh,
Yeah.
real life movies. People are like just doing things. Like people are just taking a VO subscription and just doing things, right?
So
So that's where we are also headed with respect to creating Bernie's content and capturing attention.
okay, amazing. So this is super interesting, right? Because uh, a to sort of latch onto the first part of your answer, which is sort of the attention is everything, right? Like
Yeah.
the attention creator economy that we're a part of, which is funny because I think Netflix even said themselves like I think it was one of their adverts that their main adversary and slash competitor and rival is sleep. Like they like you know what I mean? People sleeping, right? Because they if they're not sleep if humans didn't sleep there would be more hours available for people to watch shows, right? So but it is what it is. So from your perspective, right, considering the direction of where we're heading, in terms of having more AI generated content and more AI participants on say Twitter X as a social, could be a Reddit or whatever, it doesn't really matter, there's no distinction. um, it's almost as if humans are in a way left gonna be, I wouldn't say left out. Like, what do you think the role will be of like for us, right? Like, will it be to not create content anymore, monitor it, and then be a smaller percentage of the numbers that you see in terms of engagement? Like, what do you think?
I think one of the things is that I think there are two main trends that are actually happening over here. One is that AI is taking over on a lot of tasks that humans themselves did. But all these tasks were in a paradigm where we all of us used to go into work. Someone used to pay us to basically do it. Right. I think going forward, our skill and our time. So we were basically selling our time for money, right? So now that is not required anymore. It's like it's not a time that's basically going. It's basically your your products. Like all of us will be creating products. It could be anything for that matter. It could be like AI agents that we are creating, and the AI agent is the one spending time and resources and delivering that output. And it will all boil down to what how many AI agents do I have? How many products do I own? So to a large extent, all of us will be, as people will be, the labor market in
Entrepreneurs.
itself will shrink, is what I think, but all of us will get into this competitive bidding space where we are like, hey, my AI agent can do this work better than your AI agent. Let them do the work. And I am bidding for that work, right? So all of us will be business owners, I believe, to a large extent, rather than small business owners, I would say. The micro business owners of AI assets, owning and actually creating produce an outcome that basically will that will add utility, right? So it will go we are actually going back one step at a time from this whole place, is that having a job used to be the least risky option. Now now having a job is super risky because you don't know when you could get laid off and be replaced by AI. So people will keep on understanding that risk is inherent if you need to participate in the market now. So, and then everyone is kind of like a business owner then, right? I believe that's where we are heading towards, right? I mean, I don't believe in UBI, honestly, personally, because although I've read the stuff about how things work, but inherently, when people have nothing to do, a good I don't know what a good portion of people will do, right? And owning assets and bidding in the market, selling your product, selling your AI agents. Now that is basically a skill set that as we'll all be evolving into doing, and everyone needs to be an entrepreneur in that sense, is what I feel.
Yeah, it's a crazy discussion, and I think we can talk about this at length. And wow, yeah, it's different times, and I don't think I think you realize because you're a builder at this key intersection, so you're truly clued up on what's happening. But I don't know
Yeah,
if it happens to you when you're talking to people who are not in the space, and like you almost come across as someone who is like a sort of shouting wolf, right? And you don't want to
yeah.
come to it. But I mean, that's a separate discussion altogether. As we wrap things up, I wanted to ask, like, how have you found so far the support that you've received from the team, like in terms of the building on the NodeOps network and leveraging the infrastructure? How have you found the support? And along the process, there something that you found very good beyond the simplicity, or something that you'd like to improve on? Your feedback would be great to
Right,
hear.
right. So we loved building on NodeOps network. It was easy to build. I mean, honestly, we didn't require too much support because the documents were pretty good. And it's pretty straightforward in terms of what needs to be done. And the team was really, really helpful. Juliana has been really helpful. She's been following up with me with my in terms of things
She's
that I was
amazing.
following, which is which has, I believe, from a DevRel perspective also is like top notch. So yeah, I mean, no complaints, no issues. But on the flip side, the we believe that what you guys are solving is actually really, really a big problem for projects, which is, hey, I want to run, I need node infrastructure and need people to run it. You guys have made it super simple. Not just for the projects, but also for users, right? And solving it on both sides is a tough problem. Whom do you prioritize always? And the fact that you guys are able to balance both of the sides really well and create an exceptional product for both sides is basically telling a lot about the team as well. So I think what you built is itself a testimony to everything that you guys can achieve. So yeah, we're excited. We're excited to launch soon. Yeah, we'll have the node on testnet running very soon, like this week or next week. So yeah,
Crazy. Thank you very much, sir. Your feedback means the world, and yeah, the team is relentless.
thanks.
Honestly, it's crazy, and it's great to see, and it's super fun. You're one of the winning projects, of course, of the hackathon. So congrats.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, so probably use this as an assist to shed some light on what's coming next. Like, how are you gonna use the 1K grant? You mentioned the Burnie show. Is there anything else? You mentioned testnet. What's next for Burnie, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. So first thing, mindshare mining protocol, testnet deployment. We are basically running a few campaigns with a few projects that we've already onboarded. What we're basically going to use the 1K is to basically build a core set of um, creator community, incentivize them to actually start using NodeOps network to basically set up their nodes and stuff. And that's primarily what we'll be using it for. And making sure that everyone and going through that whole initial phase of uh, mm, setting up so that we can set it up to scale. Um, and that's how we're basically thinking about using the 1K. But yeah, but I believe that there's more to come over here with respect to the amount of impact we can make into the market. So, I mean, yeah, the content creators are the ones and the appers are the ones who will be earning a lot more over here, I believe.
Look, it's yeah, as enablers, sometimes you don't get your like no, you feel like a lot of people are not singing your praises, but by being a complementary stakeholder to someone else's success, like I've seen it as being part of, not that it's my merit specifically that being part of Nodes, but it's great to see others, you know, achieving specific success as a result of either leveraging our infrastructure or us playing a key role, for example, in someone's successful node sale. So I'm sure that Burnie will play that role as well, right? So if you see happy yappers or creators on your platform as a result of the environment and economy that you were able to generate,
Mhm.
it's great. Like, it means that you've put together a pretty kick-ass service. So Melvin, it's been beyond exciting and sort of eye-opening, I would say, to chat to you and learn more about Burnie. We're truly wrapping things up. Is there a specific call to action that you'd like to leave the listeners with? Now is the time for you.
Yeah. So as soon as we launch our um, Docker image on NodeOps, please set it up, give us feedback, and start creating content is what I say. All it requires is a few prompts.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Melvin. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Ciao. Bye bye.